What's up, fellow YouTubians? I thought I'd do a short holidays video to y'all. Yeah, I really thought I'd be like about 10 times farther on my car right now, but I had to work on my alternator again. So it's kind of a long story, but basically the first alternator that was in the car when I bought it stopped working, so I took that out, found it was missing a fan. So I got another alternator, found a fan for it, and put that in. Drove around for a while, it worked good. Then it started making some weird noises. Then it smelled like burnt rubber. Then all of a sudden, for some reason, it wasn't charging, and then the noises went away. So here I'm trying to figure out what the heck was happening. And basically, I decided that I had to take the alternator back out and see what was going on. So I got a new remanufactured alternator in place of the first remanufactured alternator. I put that in, but now it won't charge, and I'm not getting 12 volts on the blue wire. So that's this little wire down here that is connected to the back of the alternator that makes the alternator kick in to start charging. It turns out that that is actually a pretty common problem with these cars, with 944s and I think at least 924Ss. I didn't have that problem before, but I think because the first remanufactured alternator I put in there had the exciter post basically touching the outside of the case. It's not supposed to be like that. The big one's offset, but it's not bad. There's supposed to be like a gasket in between there, but this one didn't have one, which I should have caught the first time before I put the alternator in, but honestly I wasn't expecting it, so I didn't look for it. I figured whoever remanufactured the alternator would have made sure that the important electrical stuff wasn't actually touching the case. I'm bringing this thing back. I'm telling them to get me a new one, because this ain't right. I think what happened is it shorted out and caused that problem to get worse. So I have low voltage on that blue wire that ignites, I guess it's excites. That's what it is. I think it's the exciter wire. Pretty special wire. It's the exciter wire. So I cleaned my battery cables. The ground looks good, but I should clean it anyway. But the thing is it's not getting 12 volts out the end of that blue wire at the plug at the alternator. So to me that tells me that there's maybe a break or like a burnt spot somewhere else in the circuit, or like that gauge is maybe sucking a lot of juice out of the circuit. I'm not sure. I ran a hot wire to a voltmeter to a switch and then back out to the alternator because I want to be able to excite the alternator and I don't want to tear into the wiring harness right now. And so this way I can just flip a switch and I can read the voltage on the dash and I'll know exactly what the voltage is, and that's better than having a light bulb anyway. So alright, so you might be wondering why I spent so much time hooking up a duct to my alternator. This car didn't have a belly pan when I bought it, and I drove around like that for a while until a big chunk of snow and ice took out my power steering pulley. So I found a 1978 Porsche down the street from my house in a, like, you pull the parts yourself junkyard, and I pulled the belly pan off of that. But the thing was, I really had to modify it. I had to bend this area for the tow hooks. I cut this out for the sway bar and bent the pan. You can see like the reliefs I hammered in there. There's one there and then one on the other side. And then what else did I do? The factory one bolted to the bottom, I believe. The way I've got this now, it bends up and sandwiches between the radiator supports and the front all steel valance, and then I had to move the bolt holes a little bit to make them line up with my aluminum cross member. But anyway, it actually worked out really good, and I'll show you guys a video of how I did that later. So anyway, the point is that pan, it has cooling, but it's like getting hot air out, not necessarily getting cold air in. I don't know what the factory one was like, but I don't believe it was quite as closed off as this. And I'll show you guys a video of how I made this duct. It's kind of hard to see, but I just made a little room here in the valance. I didn't move this line, but I sort of like clearance and I bent the lip down a little bit where the duct is. After I made that duct, I found some 60 millimeter polypropylene tubing on Amazon. and I put that in place of the plastic tubing I used at first. I needed something that was more robust and fit better, and that tubing actually worked out great. In a later episode, I'll go in depth on how I modified that belly pan and the duct that I made for the alternator. But for now, there's my special holiday update episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and be sure to check back for episode 10, where I finish my door panels, get my speaker grills installed, and show you guys how these speakers sound. So thanks for watching, guys, and thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. All right, take it easy, guys. Happy holidays. See you next time.